In the grim darkness of the far future, many things have been forgotten in the sand of time, such as people's reading comprehension. Of course, the average Warhammer fan wouldn't know that, as they cannot read in the first place. Hello, hello, people of Terra. This is the first long-form video of this kind that I'm gonna make, because I noticed, the insanely big problem of misinformation and just, straight-up lies in the Warhammer community being spread. So I thought it would be something good to talk about, and actually bring up in a video. I find that most people in the community don't even attempt to fact check what they hear or try to read the books in the first place, which, some people don't have time to, but at least you can look at the lexicon. I made a list of the most common misconceptions, so let me just start reading them off. Number 1. Catan being aspects of reality. That's just blatantly false. There's nothing that backs up. It's just not true. If you look at the lore, or the Lexiconum page, there's nothing that backs that up. There's nothing that would lead to that conclusion. Even if you look at the flayed one, the reason that curse happened was because he actively chose to set that up. I don't know why it didn't happen before he died, or he did choose to do it before he died. I guess that's just something that GW chose to not bring up, because GW's idea of mystery, just not explaining things at all, giving no hints to what they actually are. I personally assume that it was like a lost explosion of energy before he completely faded out into nothingness. Number 2. The name of the 11th Primarch being Malebron. This is a lesser known misconception, and not a lot of people know about it or actually know where it comes from, but there's nothing that backs it up. It's most likely just a reference to a campaign that some of the authors used to run back in the older time of Warhammer. And one of the players had a space marine. Had his space marines not really fit in with any of the other actually canon legions, so they decided to give him his own homebrew, completely non-canon Primarch and Legion. So, and it was called Malebron, and people connected that to the excerpt where Horus and Malkador are arguing. Horus is being a petulant child, like always. So Malkador chokes him out, and Horus, clearly trying to call out Malkador's name, but couldn't finish it due to being asphyxiated, says Mal, and that gets cut off. So people try to connect that to Malebron due to M-A-L at the start as a 3 letters being pronounced. But with the context, that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he was trying to talk about the lost Primarchs being erased from history, but I don't see why he would not try to say Malkador's name to just tell him to stop killing him. I think it was probably a reference to it, sure, but I do not think there's anything canonical at all to this. Number 3 would have to be Night Lords always being just afraid of fighting, when they're actually very similar to the Raven Guard, and more similar to how modern wars are fought out nowadays than, the average Space Marine faction. So most people look at that and say, oh, they're too scared to fight, oh, they're like losers, and then go back to their Black Templars and just start running headfirst at things like they're a fucking Bloodthirster. Which is just dumb, because the average Night Lord and the only other legionary, they could probably, it's a fair fight, especially if the Night Lord is skilled. I think that they might have the advantage due to being able to pull random bullshit and tactics and literally just throwing sand in your eye if you don't have your helmet on. So just saying that they're weaker objectively is just wrong. And I think that's kind of the point, is because people underestimate them and they use that to their advantage. Number 3. Hold on, was that number 3? No, yes, this is. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. So Night Lord was number 3. This is number 4. Number 4. Gulman and Yvrain. I'm not gonna explain any more to this. I think you already know what this is. Number 5. The Shadow in the Warp. A lot of people get the vague idea of it, but most people don't actually know how it works. it's not like an active ability they used to like smother out the warp like a blank. It's more so the constant spread of psychic information from from Tyranid bioforms to another that it just clouds out anything else. The same way as it's like putting too much load on a server so it can't send any other messages. That's really about it. There's nothing more to it. It's not like a blank ability. It's not like it's a fucking pylon. Number 6. Yeah, number 6 would be the orcs just being able to make anything up on the spot. No, the orcs cannot just believe that they're a tank and become a tank and start firing off fucking shells. They actually have to, as an entire race, believe in one single thing a lot. So it just happens. And kind of like how the humans, when they joined the Tau Empire, made the Tauva. Except on like a much larger scale. And applies to a lot of things other than just religion, which humans are obsessed with 40k. I think it's kind of that you need that humans just have an innate desire to worship things, but don't take my word on that. I do not have an excerpt or any lore backing that up. And number 7. This is probably the biggest and longest one, but the Emperor just being the strongest person in all of Warhammer. That's fault on so many scales. The Emperor, first off, I can see people saying that the Emperor can beat Slanesh or like Nurgle when he's not in his strong phase because Nurgle's strength withers and wanes. But I can't see him beating Cornered Zinch. And people saying that, oh, he's too powerful to get a model in the Horus Heresy when you have the Silent King running around 40k? The guy who literally shattered an entire Catan on his own with a spear? And his shared nullifies psychic powers? Sure, the Emperor at base is probably stronger and more durable than the Silent King, and has way more psychic bullshit. The Silent King kinda just... his spear shattered a Catan. The Emperor imprisoned a really big shard, I'll give him that. The Emperor imprisoned a shard of the Void Dragon, one of the stronger Catans, but that's really about his strongest feat, I think. I'd need to look more into it, but I can see it going either way with the Silent King and the Emperor, so saying that he's too strong to have a model is just stupid. Also, Horus was stronger than him physically, so I don't see how Horus getting a model makes sense, but the Emperor getting a model doesn't. And it's not like you have to worry about canonicity, because there's like 500 first company captains of the Ultramarines, despite there being only one in lore. GW keeps making models of them, which is it's really fucking stupid that the Ultramarines get so many models instead of actually giving it to any other faction. Let me not even get started on the fucking stupidity of the Black Templars and how many models they get for like a random successor chapter. It's so stupid. And that's the entire list I had. That's the biggest misconception in the Warhammer community. Of course, as long as it doesn't really affect anyone else's enjoyment of the setting, you can just make shit up and change things if it makes you into the setting more. It's a tabletop. The lore is only secondary to the game sales. It's just that the misinformation is so bad, and having 500 authors and having your books be rushed doesn't help. Cough, cough, the Horus Heresy, cough, cough. But we don't talk about that. And it's also the fanbase spreading the same unfunny joke 500 times over, so when a new fan joins in, he sees, oh, the Krieg use shovels in every meme I see, so they must be use actual shovels in lore. And they don't fucking use shovels, it's just a digging implement that happens to be used as a weapon when things get tight. And it's just fucking... I mean, you can't blame newer fans for not wanting to get into not start reading the books immediately, because it's a big time investment, but at least look at the Lexiconum. And don't tell me the Lexiconum isn't accurate, because you need to fucking sign a whole ass government form just to get into it and be able to edit things. Either way, I'm not trying to be your father, I'm telling you, oh, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Just try to fact check and make sure what you're reading is true. I just made this video because I fucking don't like how much misinformation there is, but you can do what you want with the setting as long as it just makes your enjoyment more. Next video I'll probably complain about how bad Games Workshop is at fucking naming things, because literally half of the names don't even make sense, even in setting. Oh yeah, I forgot the last piece of misinformation on the list. It being the Grey Knights aren't the stupidest faction in the entire franchise.